Now we are going to look at recommendation number 2 in the IES Practice Guide for Dropout Prevention. Recommendation 2 says assign adult advocates to students at risk of dropping out. We're going to look at this electronic resource. You'll notice that this particular recommendation has moderate evidence. Again, this was released in August of 2008, and we've continued to collect additional evidence to support this recommendation and further develop it. So to learn a little bit more about this recommendation, adult advocates should have an appropriate background and low caseloads and be purposefully matched with students. Adequate training and support should be provided for advocates. So let's go a little deeper with this recommendation. When I click on the PDF document, this is going to give us some more information in terms of the evidence that supports this particular recommendation. And then it's going to provide us some steps in terms of how to carry out this recommendation. Again, I'm on page 18 in the PDF document. One of the things that you'll notice is this really provides a lot of details in terms of the type of people that I'm thinking about in regards to an adult advocate, who may be people that are a good match, who may be people that may not have enough time in their schedules even to be in this type of role. So these are all things that we would want to consider. You'll also note some different personal characteristics that we would want to think about in regards to advocates. As we get deeper into this work and thinking about building the system, we know that we're going to have to actually schedule the time in the school day in order for this type of advocate, or actually now we talk about this more in terms of a mentor and those connections with the student. What may be happening during this time when the mentor or the advocate is meeting with the student. Still some more information about what may be happening. And also some flexibility in thinking about that we want to make sure that an advocate or a mentor has the time that they need to meet with the student based off of the severity or intensity of the needs of that student. Also, we want to make sure that we have a two-way communication loop established between the student and the advocate and the student. We also want to make sure that we're providing sufficient information for the adult advocate. We want to make sure that our advocates are prepared, that they have appropriate training, and also that they're prepared in terms of some of the needs that may arise. You'll notice some things that advocates may be looking at in terms of students' homework completion, students attending class, and even some potential connections in terms of the advocate helping to get the student or the family connected with additional resources. The other fantastic thing about this practice guide is it gives us different roadblocks that we tend to deal with, and not does it just stop there, but it also gives us some suggestions in terms of how that we might go about navigating those roadblocks. We'll go deeper with this information as we get into the part on actually building our intervention system. Okay, so how does this connect with your work in MTSS? So you've already seen this universal screening system flowchart, and you're going to see some connections with this adult advocate role, or as I said, maybe an adult mentor intervention in two different buckets. So we're going to see this here with the attendance work, and we're also going to see it here in terms of our behavior work. So when you look at your flow chart, two potential places that seem really easy for this connection might be here in terms of this adult mentor. So these would be for students maybe that don't feel connected and have those positive relationships with school staff. This may also make a connection here in terms of this personalized family outreach, but we may have some additional features that are a part of this intervention. A second place when we're looking at our behavior portion of our flowchart may be here again with this piece around the adult mentor. So these are students that really find that adult attention fulfilling for them, and it helps them in their work as a student.